Hello and welcome to Trionic 7. I'm Jonathan and this is the O2 Saab 9.5 Aero. And this car has a xenon headlight system. And if you've noticed, when your xenon bulbs go out, the manual states that you need to go to the dealer and get the bulbs changed by them. But in this video I will show you how to change your bulbs yourself. So this is actually the first video that I'm shooting, and today we're going to look at the xenon lights. The low beams are worn out, so I'm going to change the xenon light bulbs. There are some things you need to think about when you do this operation. It's not just straight go in and change the lights, because you need to remove some stuff to be able to actually get to the lights. So this is a before video. I'm not sure how much we're gonna see, but the problems I'm currently having is that starting from the beginning, the left beam was going in and out sometimes, and sometimes when you did a cold start in cold weather, the warning light for the auto leveling would come on the dashboard. Then you had to restart the car a few times, and eventually the beam would come on. So I did some research and I looked online, and the recommendation was to switch the bulbs. So left to right to left. And if the problem remained on the same side, that is the left side, you would know that the problem was with the ballasts or with the electronics, so not the bulb itself. So I switched the lights about a month ago or 2 months ago, and I hadn't really had any issues until last week, when suddenly the right beam started going out little now and then. And yesterday when I was driving, it was flickering on and off randomly. So I'm pretty sure it's just the bulbs. If it were the support system or the ballasts, then the problem would have stayed on the same side, the left side. But now the right side is having problems. And I'm not sure if... I don't see any problem with the lights now. It's not a pink color. It looks good. It looks white, as it should. But I'm thinking maybe the beams are not so bright as they should be. Sometimes when I'm driving on the highway, I wished for some more light, and maybe changing the lights will make a difference. So I'll guide you through the steps of how to change, and I'll first change the right bulb, and then we can compare the beam and see if we can see a difference from before. And then afterwards I'll do the left side. Also, when I take out the left side, I need to remove the battery. So changing the right side will make it easy for me to start the lights right away and see if there's a difference. And these instructions will work for, I think, any Saab 9.5 between model years 02 and 05. Since of course the big facelift was in 06, which made things different. And I'm not sure that you had xenon as an option before 02, so maybe leave a comment if you know more about this. But let's go ahead and do a DIY video. Now remember, the xenon system uses very high voltage. So if you're not sure how to do this procedure, I would recommend you being very safe or leave it to the dealer. Myself, I am an electrical engineer, so I know how these systems work, but if you're unsure or if you do anything wrong, just leave it. Give it to someone else. I can't be held liable for anything that happens to you, and even the manual states that you're supposed to leave it to the dealer. So just a heads up. So I just have a quite small light here to show you guys. I'm noticing it's quite dirty underneath again. It's due to all the winter driving, I guess. So on the left side, you can see the battery box is in the way. And if we go to the right side, we will want to remove the mass airflow sensor and the hose. So I will start by disconnecting the battery terminals to be safe. And then I will remove the mass airflow sensor to see how it looks like. So I just put the lamp in the engine here so we can see a bit better, and I have one hand free. So the battery, of course, is a standard 10mm socket. I always remove the negative terminal first, since it's grounded to the chassis and the body. Okay, that's good. Now we can remove it. And then the positive terminal. Good, now the battery is disconnected. I won't remove it further than this for now, because I want to be able to test the right bulb when I have removed it and install the new one. So we'll go ahead with the mass airflow sensor next. So here we have the air intake hose. And I will start by removing these two clips here that holds the hose down. And for this you will need a 7mm socket. That one is loose. And this one is loose. Now, as a little side note, one of the great things about the Saabs is this DI cassette. Now, some of you hate it for basically going bust every once in a while. I like it because I can put my tools in it. Just don't forget them before you start the engine. Okay, back to the hose. The thing I find most tricky about this is removing the hose from the mass airflow sensor, and what I've found is that you will need to basically pull very hard. And it feels strange, but eventually it will come off. We'll see if I'll be able to make this and holding the camera at the same time. Maybe I'll have to put it... Oh wait, this was very easy. Okay, so last time it was really difficult to pull it off, but maybe it became easier this time, since I did it just a few weeks ago. So if yours is hard to remove, just don't lose heart, but to try pulling and tugging and it will eventually come off. You can hold the mass airflow sensor steady with one hand and pull it hard with the other one. So when we have done this, I'm not actually going to remove the sensor itself, it stays put. But now I have much better access to the low beam door here. So I'll open it. Here's the cover. Put it to the side, and now we can see the xenon light. You might be wondering what this little wire is for, and it's actually to hold the blinker in place, the right blinker. These little plastic tabs that hold the light in break really easy, and it's quite an annoying problem with these Saabs that the whole blinker assembly is held in by a really small and fragile plastic clip, and if you do like me and break it when you're trying to open it, nothing is there to hold it in. So I drilled a little hole in the plastic clip that was left and basically put a metal wire through, and it's held in ever since. Anyway, back to the light. You will see that there's and of course I should say this is where the high voltage is, so be very careful. You will see a metal clip, push down, and it comes right out. Now I'll basically just pull all of this out, the entire square thing of metal here. It's very hard to film. Basically I just pull it out, straight back, trying to avoid to smash the light. Whoa, the light is quite warm. I've just been driving it for a few minutes. And there we go. So here's the old bulb, and as you can see, it's worn out. There's some kind of coating on the inside that makes it quite foggy. So let's put this aside and look at the new bulb. And here's the new Osram bulb. As you can see, the little bubble in the middle is clear, just like it's supposed to. So hopefully this one will give a much better light. Now, I wasn't wearing gloves the last time, so remember, use gloves. I'm wearing glasses to protect myself and my eyes. So let's put this new bulb in. And before I forget, this is the old bulb. GE Sensation. Of course, very dim. So here's the new Osram bulb. You can see all the part numbers there. Okay, so I wasn't able to film the process of putting it back in because it's quite narrow and I needed both my hands. But you basically just need to push the mass airflow sensor to the side, like this, and then slowly put the light back in. And be really careful not to hit it on anything, because it can break. And the connector goes downwards. So all that's left to do here is to put the spring back. And there we go. Now it's back in. So what I'll do now is that I'll connect... Let me just get that light for you. I'll reconnect the battery and check the light beams. Okay then. First start up with the new bulb on the right side. At first it looked very dim, but I'm guessing that's just because they're brand new and it needed a few seconds to warm up. I'm not sure if I'm seeing much difference. I know this will be really hard to watch in the video. And in the video the right one looks almost brighter, but maybe that's just where I'm standing. We'll see. It's hard to tell the difference right now. I was hoping to have it actually more bright with the new bulb. Okay, time for the left bulb. So again, here's the battery. I remove the terminals again. I put the key to off in the car. So now it's time to remove the actual battery. And, oh, that's very dark. Let me get that light for you. So the battery box is fastened with a 13mm fastener down there. I'm using a long extension 1/2" ratchet with 13mm socket. And we'll just pull it off. And out comes the support strap. And with the support strap loosened, I can just pull out the battery and put it aside. So again, this strap is connected to this rubber thing. So putting the battery back means removing the rubber, putting the battery back in, wedging the rubber back in, and fastening the bolt. Quite easy. So, open the cover. Come on, there we go. Okay, so with the gloves on, do the same thing as on the right side. Loosen the metal strap by pushing it and turning it to the side. Now I'll just have to pull the bulb straight out. It's not easy, we're wearing gloves. There we go. Slowly. So the strap is hooking onto the cable, which makes it a bit difficult. Come on. Bulb is out. So then we'll just unplug the cable. This, and here's the old bulb. Let's have a look at this bulb, shall we? And just like the other side, it is quite dim. Not super dim, actually. But again, this is the bulb that has been functioning best of the two ones I had. So let's put this one aside and put the new bulb in. And now the new bulb is back in place. Again, this was impossible to film since I needed both hands and I don't have a cameraman to help me. And the spring clip is back on. So, back with the plastic cover. And shut. Nice and tight. So, to even test this lamp, we'll of course need to put the battery back. I'll remove the rubber thingy here. And then I'll need both hands to put the battery in the box. So the battery's been lifted back in. Yes, I know. This is a battery from Biltema, the Swedish discount car parts store. It's my fault. The previous owner put it in just before selling the car. It's been working okay. So, next step, take the rubber thingy back and wedge it downwards. There we go. Put the strap back on and keep this bolt away from the battery terminals, please. You don't want it short-circuiting. So the bolt is back on. I'll just need my socket with the extension. Again, 13mm. So there we go, nice and snug. And now we can put the terminals back. Positive, then negative. There we go. So let's test both bulbs now. Let's turn the ignition key. Of course, the nice Saab feature with a key in the middle. I really like it. Oh, that's the parking sensor. Put it in neutral. Go back out. Here are the two new bulbs. Well, it looks decent. Not seeing much of a difference in the brightness, honestly. But hopefully these bulbs will work and not break for me. So the only thing that's left to do now is to put the air intake hose back in. And of course the cover for the right bulb. So the plastic cover is back on. Now I'll attempt to reinstall the hose with just one hand. Let's see how this goes. And of course you'll need to line up this little cutout here with a flange on the mass airflow sensor. Let's see how this goes. Get the clips back up where they were. There. And again, 7mm socket. And the hose is back on. So, if you're like me and like to put things on the DI cassette, double check to make sure it's empty. Just a quick look. And then we'll start up the engine to make sure the hose was put back together correctly. Sounds good to me. Now that's the Aero engine. And another quick tip for you. Since we removed the battery, the clock has been reset and so has the date. So what I'll do is just quickly find an RDS radio station. I'll search for the channels by holding in the AS button here. It will scan the channels. And I'll go to a channel. Let's use the Swedish radio channel. Let's see, we're P1. Here, Swedish radio P1. And when this channel is set, I can click. There's two, I'm not sure if you can see this, but there's two small buttons here. Push them simultaneously until it says RDS retime. And there we go. Correct time set. And as you can see, it's 200 1,159 kilometers today. So everything sounds good. I'll pack up my tools and head on back home. Okay, I'm finishing up this xenon bulb change video a couple of weeks later. So this was the first video of the Trionic 7 channel. I have many video ideas in store and hopefully get some time during this spring to realize them. So I'd really appreciate if you left a comment and told me what you think about this video and about what you want to see from this channel. I'm thinking DIYs, I'm thinking some information about this car, and about Saab in general. So be sure to leave a comment and tell me what you think. So this has been Jonathan with the Saab 9.5 Aero from O2. I'll see you guys later.